It ain't too much for me to say, shit, I gotta prove. So stay the fuck up out my way, you see they got you dude. And a few can torn away, I'm in a bad mood. Please don't fuck with me today, what else I gotta do? It ain't too much for me to say, shit, I gotta prove. So stay the fuck up out my way, you see they got you dude. And a few can torn away, I'm in a bad mood. I bring, please don't fuck with me today. They say Prissy ain't on top of this shit, I beg to differ. Nah, fuck that.
Ahoy hoy. Yo, I was supposed to be making another video a couple days ago, but I had to take a little bit of a break. I know I had talked about this on Facebook as well as on my Wattpad, that I had been, pretty depressed lately. As some people know, I suffer from bipolar disorder, type 1 to be exact, as well as manic depression. I used to think all of that was into one thing, but my doctor told me it's all separate. I haven't seen my doctor in 2 years because a lot of things happened. I wasn't able to get back to my appointments like I was supposed to go to, and so they booted me out the system. When I go back, I'm gonna have to start all over again, and I don't know if they'll put me with him again or not, as well as my therapist. That therapist might not even be there anymore. I know I'm gonna have to get another therapist, another case manager, and like I said, I don't know if they'll put me with him or put me with the other doctor, because they only have 2 on staff as far as I know of. They work with people my age. So, but that's besides the point. Because I had been depressed a lot. Some of it was, some of it was based on, me and my writing and everything else. I'm just gonna be honest, I'm starving for attention. Because I have people around me that tell me, that my writing is really good, but at the same time, most of the people that I do know, like, not folks I'm close with, but just nobody really openly checks out anything, I mostly have to share stuff with people all the time, and, just to be completely honest, that annoys me. I've said that, a lot of times. And so maybe to some people it's come off as me whining or being ungrateful, but, I just feel like, if you are interested in it, just check it out. I shouldn't have to share stuff with people all the time, Like, if people do find interest in it or see it, or something like that, they should just check it out. Like, I've had a few people tell me once before, actually, they were waiting on me to share it with them, and I just was like, what the fuck, It was the same way with my music, and so it just seemed like a bullshit-ass reason. Or there are people who go and read it, but because they don't have a Wattpad account, they can't leave feedback on there or give it a like, so they usually just end up inboxing me. And I wish, because there's a lot of reads on some of my stuff, but not a lot of feedback or likes, because, like I said, a lot of people don't have a Wattpad account, so they just go and read, like, as a guest or whatever, so, that's a little bit of a thorn in my side, but I know I can't force people to make an account, so I just have to accept them telling me, how much they like stuff, like I said, in my inbox on Facebook. So, so that's been one thing that's been kind of depressing me. I did get some attention, for lack of a better term, a little earlier this week. This one young lady on there, we decided to do read for read, and I've been reading her stuff. She was reading mine. Now, she's beating me to giving a lot of feedback, because, like I said, I'm new to doing this and new to really just giving feedback on stories myself, like, I'm not used to doing book or story reviews. Like, the only thing I can tell somebody when I read something is that it was really good to me. I might can point out a certain part, but I've never really been good at doing detailed stuff, which is kind of funny because my writing is very detailed. But when it comes to giving feedback, doing a review, I suck at it. Like, I did that review on my YouTube about Batwoman, and I just said a little stuff here and there, but I mean, it was good enough for some people, but it wasn't an extremely thorough review. So it was the video was only 16 some minutes long, and most of it wasn't even about Batwoman. But, that's another story. Anyway, outside of the writing, one of the main things I'm still depressed about, and you might notice my voice kind of choke up a little bit, because I am still bothered about this. Me and, well, she's not my girlfriend anymore, but my ex, we broke up last year in June, on the 21st to be exact. And, I still haven't healed from that. We were together for 5 years, and during that 5 years, a lot of stuff happened, so I don't know, I had been trying to be better, because probably in like early 2020 and also part of 2019, she had told me, about her being unhappy and some of the things she, wanted me to start doing or working on, because she started saying she felt like, I had given up on the relationship. And I hadn't, but I also, on one end, had stopped doing a lot of stuff because of the way she was acting. It was a little immature thing about us that, she would stop doing some stuff because of how she might have perceived some things about me. And then because I noticed that she wasn't doing those things anymore, I would kind of stop doing a lot of stuff, and being sweet, I guess, and romantic. And, it's my fault. Something I hate to admit, to be honest, but the whole thing of us falling apart, she said we both played a part, but I know I played the most, it's mostly my fault, I stopped doing a lot of things, she started to feel less, like a girlfriend and more like, because she was one of the people who encouraged me to start writing again, and for the longest while we were just friends, because we've been friends for years, for the longest while we were just friends, she had, she was always a fan of my music and everything, and so when I finally did share some of my writing with her, she was the one who encouraged me to start writing again, because I had given up on it, but she liked some of the stuff I was working on, so, I was often sharing, my work with her, and while she is a fan of what I do, she said it started to feel more like I just wanted, feedback from her and nothing else. And, I hate that she felt like that, but I guess, I get so wrapped up in the things that I do that is all I think about, a lot of times. So I don't, I have a lot of people I consider friends, but I don't exactly, converse with people like I should, because I get focused on what I'm doing and that's it. And when I make something, I want feedback, and I ask the people that are closest to me who have been supporters for the longest. But of course, over the years, a lot of this stuff started to, wane, for lack of a better term. And, I get it. There are a lot of people who probably just like, man, I just want to, talk to you about something else. And so, but, me, I was always focused on, well, the task at hand. And that was whatever I was working on, whether it be music, like I said, writing, and, well, as lately, art. Now, the art thing, actually, that hasn't been that hard to get feedback on, because I realize, people are more visual nowadays. So when you do something like that, it's kind of almost like an instant reaction if somebody actually likes it, and, you get feedback that way. But when it comes to things that people either have to read or listen to, it's a different thing. And I have a lot of people who tell me they support me, but as I always say, actions speak louder than words, or anybody say that really, but that's what I always say. I often say that, actions speak louder than words. So for me, while a lot of people might say, I'm supporting you, I hope you make it, you're gonna make it, you're dope, you're sick, all that different shit, it's a lack of what I perceive as interest on their part. Or maybe, as somebody might have told me, maybe I release too much stuff, for people to really digest everything, but I'm just a person who constantly works. when it comes to stuff like that, as far as my craft goes, whether it be rapping, writing, drawing, I'm always at work, in a state of constant, I guess you could say, flux, always moving, because for me, I feel like if I'm not perfecting what I'm doing, then I'm wasting my time, and I guess that can go back to childhood, because there was always pressure on me to do this and do that, and in ninth grade, when I failed the ninth grade, that disappointed a lot of people and shocked a lot of people as well, because I had always been seen as this really intelligent person. Now, I didn't fail because I was stupid or anything like that, but I made a stupid decision, because that was when I first started, feeling depressed and, downtrodden and defeated all the time. I didn't want to go to school. A lot of times I didn't want to wake up. I felt suicidal. And I stopped focusing on my schoolwork. The only thing I was focusing on was rapping, because I wanted to become a rapper. And I hoped I could get a record deal while I was in high school, so I could just say, sayonara to everybody and go on and, live a big life. But of course, I wasn't ready yet, because I remember there was a contest that I had found out about in the back of a Vibe magazine. And because I didn't have the means to actually send off a demo, and at the time my father had barred my cousin from allowing me to come to the studio, and my cousin would rather obey my father than listen to my mother, even though, my father didn't really have much to do with what was going on with me, but that's another story, so I called the number that was in the back of that book, for that contest, and I left a message rapping on the answering machine. Now, being older now, I realized that was foolish, because somebody could steal the rap, that I wrote. Or really, I really didn't write it. It was a freestyle. It was the first time I'd ever freestyled, and it was lucid, for lack of a better term. I keep saying it. It was the first time that it was clear, because a lot of times when people ask me to freestyle, it takes me forever, and I was like, I like, my mind just don't work like that. I'm the type of person that have to sit down and really think about stuff. That's why I prefer to write, and I don't do freestyles. I have these things I do called freestyle, which is my way of circumventing that and going around it, but they're all written raps, but they're done at different beats, and it's just me kind of trying to rap in different styles or rap about different things, just showing that I'm versatile, that I can, go over any type of beat, it don't matter. But anyway, back then when I did that, I called them, left that message. Like, so this was like, what I want to say, 2005, I think, 2004, 2005, it was one of them. And the dude called me back. I was surprised. I got that call. And so, I had my friend on the phone, because I wanted somebody to be witness. So, I put him on three-way. And, I was talking to the man. And he told me he wanted to sign me. But, as he said, per how things were, it was a contest I had to enter. And now, he couldn't guarantee that I would win, of course, if I entered. But he said that even if I did come close, he would keep, my information, on hand, to reach out to me, because he was interested in signing me. But his boss was like, nah, he got to enter the contest. And long story short, I couldn't enter it, and I never did call the man ever again. I don't even know if the contest was a, scam or not. I would have to, if I could find my old Vibe magazine, I would have to look that up just to see. But, it was kind of the same thing when I wanted to send, demos off the labels, and I was trying to get up money so I could use Talent 2K. that just show how old I am. I'm 33, by the way. So, if anybody remembers Talent 2K, yeah. And I wanted to use that company to send demos off, and I think they were like, in order to send your demo off to this amount of people in a certain amount of songs, I think it had to be like $2,000. And I wanted a job so bad, man, I wanted a job anyway. I really wanted a job for that, so I could get my own recording equipment, and so I could save up money to enter that contest. Not contest, but, to enter with them and use their services, but I never did do it. And eventually, I think, Talent 2K went out of business, because I think years ago, I read something where people said that they were scamming people. Nobody's demos were going to the labels, so I dodged the bullet. But, you know, anyway, this has veered off course as usual. So let me get back to what I was saying about my ex. You know, so it got to a point where she told me she just wanted to be my girlfriend, you know, and just be a fan. She didn't want to always be somebody that I was asking for, you know, feedback. And I understood that. It hurt to hear, but I understood it. You know, because, like I said, she started to feel like I had given up on a relationship and that all it was just that and nothing else. You know, nothing was interesting. But the biggest thing about it is that she really was tired of us being long distance. We had been together for 5 years. It was a long distance relationship. Mostly just talked on the phone, you know, recorded videos for each other because we never exactly video chatted because I didn't have a good enough phone or computer. And internet connection is not the best. That's why I don't do live videos. I just record these videos and I upload them. But, you know, for her, it wasn't enough and it was depressing. Now, I wasn't that bothered about it because I was trying to remain optimistic that, you know, when all of this COVID stuff and everything cleared up, because, you know, I had planned to see her, you know, last year, but, you know, of course, COVID came and they just ruined a bunch of shit, you know. I mean, I know COVID was already there in part of 2019, but, of course, we didn't know about it like that. So, like, when it really blew up the way it did, man, it just put a damper on all my plans. And I want to say that I guess that kind of made it easier for her to finally decide that she wanted to, you know, finally end a relationship. Because she had told me earlier in the year that she wanted to break up. And, you know, that hurt. But, you know, we talked about it. And we decided we would take a break from each other. And it was probably like half a week. It was supposed to be a whole week, but, you know, she said she couldn't take it, not talking, you know, so. And after that, things seemed to have, you know, been all right, you know, but she honestly still was unhappy, you know, and I don't know what else is going on in her life. You know, I know that was a problem, but I know that she's bothered about other stuff, so I can't speak to whatever she's going on and whatever is going on with her. And even if I knew, I'm not going to say it on this video, but I'm just saying I know that us not being able to see each other, that was a big thing that was bothering her, you know, because as she told me there were things she wanted to do, you know, and I understand that, you know, me, I tried to remain strong and not think about it that much, so that's why I told her I wasn't as bothered as she was, you know, because I just was trying to keep faith that we would eventually see each other one day, you know. But like I said, you know, she couldn't do it. I think it was also because she was often worried about me. You know, I want to say one thing that really messed the relationship up was me finally, you know, admitting that I like, you know, transgender women. You know, because despite her being in support of, you know, the LGBT community, you know, that wasn't something she wanted to hear from her boyfriend. I just kind of just ruined everything when I, you know, admitted that. And, you know, honestly, you know, she said to me that she thought I was gay. And, you know, I laugh at it now, but of course I was pissed off and hurt by it at the time. You know, but I laugh at it now because, you know, it's crazy that, you know, if you do, like, if she is the type of person who believes that transgender women are women, then why would she turn around and think that I'm gay? You know, but it is what it is. You know, a lot of stuff just wasn't lining up there. You know, hold on, damn, close to 19 minutes. Anyway, so you know, we went through a little patch with that, but we eventually got over it, and you know, but I'm pretty sure it was always in the back of her mind, you know, that she was just wondering if I was, I guess, talking to guys. And I wasn't, you know, of course. But there was this one transgender female that I became friends with that I know that really ruffled some feathers because, you know, I fucked up, I gotta admit. You know, I was a big flirt. But I mostly, and I'm not saying that it's right that I did flirt. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to justify it. But I am admitting that I mostly was flirting because of the issues that we were having in our relationship, that she kept being distant and pulling away from me. But then, she would pull away from me, but then she would complain that I wasn't doing this and I wasn't doing that. But like I told her, I couldn't read her mind. I didn't know what was really going on with her. I didn't know what was bothering her, because I know also in her life there had been a few other, things that had happened. Like, so I'm not going to dive into that. But, there were other things besides what we were going through that were on her mind, so I didn't really know, though, that a big part of it was, us, and that's my fault, though, because, I did often ask her what was going on, what was wrong with her, and she would just tell me nothing, she's fine, she'll be all right, or she don't want to talk about it, and I can't force her to tell me anything, and maybe I didn't try hard enough, but that's just the way it went. So like I said, for her, it seemed like I had given up on everything, and that definitely was not, my intention. But like I said, I understand her feeling that way. But like I said, it is what it is. I'm trying to think how to really put this. I'm really hurt over it, though, and I wish that I could fix things. But like I said, I know the biggest hurdle is the long distance, and I know with that in mind, even if I could come and see her, right now she don't want me to come and see her. To her, it's weird since we've broken up. And she actually ended up asking me a question like, do you ask all your exes if you can come and see them? And I was like, the fuck? It's like, no, I don't. But some of them have expressed, wanting to see me. Because it's been years, with knowing a lot of them, and a lot of them are like, we still got to meet. We got to meet before such and such, So, I get it. She's still upset with me right now. It's a lot of stuff, that she probably still trying to process. Because one of my exes said she think there's some stuff she said to me that, they were lies. That she was just saying it to me because she was trying to, I guess, hurt me so that I could, get over her. And maybe she was. I know most women know how other women think and feel, better than a man. But I've been taking her at her word. So, it is what it is. Whether she means it or not, or whether she's just saying it because she wants me to get over her, so she won't feel that bad about breaking up with me. If that is what it is, then that's just what it is. But if she's saying all these things simply because she really does feel that way, or whatever, then it is what it is with that too. Her opinion of me changed. Like, one thing that I've been trying to wrap my head around, that she told me is that, she said one of the things that made her not be attracted to me anymore, because see, when she first told me she wasn't attracted to me anymore, I took it as a physical thing. But she said it's not that, and I guess she said that's a big problem for her because she's still attracted to me physically, but there are things about me that she doesn't like, and that's fucked up. But it made me feel a little bit better that she didn't think I was, ugly now all of a sudden. Like, no, she still found me attractive, but my personality or my attitude is not attractive. So, that can still make me ugly, but, make me ugly as a person and not, physically. But, like I said, it's a conflicting thing for her because physically, I guess, like I said, she still has this attraction to me, but I guess she thinks about these things about my personality, and then that all of a sudden just, ugh. But she wouldn't tell me what it was about my attitude. All she did was just tell me, it's your attitude. That's what turned me off. But she wouldn't just say if it was that, it was my, because a lot of times you could say somebody has an attitude, and it can usually mean that they're, negative, mean, grumpy, which I can be a lot of times. I've been grumpy for years, though, and a lot of that is based on, my mental illness. I get angry, about a lot of stuff, obsess over things, sometimes can't, get over stuff, and that's why I do a lot of ranting. I've been trying to be more constructive with my rants and not exactly just go off on, all angrily, but like I said, it is what it is. I get pissed off, and, I sometimes, I used to rant to her all the time. And I guess, eventually, like I said, they got to her, because we couldn't talk about anything, because a lot of times she might bring up something that I really didn't like. And, that would kind of, I won't say start an argument, but I would probably just tell her I don't want to talk about it. And then she'll get pissed off, because I didn't want to talk about that, Now, for me, the way I saw it is that she knew that I didn't like a lot of different things, but then she would want to talk about them, knowing how I had already said how I felt about stuff, Like, she just expected me to get over things, and I mean, honestly, I had been trying, but this was, way before her and I got together. I've been trying to get over a lot of stuff, but, like I said, with me having the anger problems that I do, and kind of, like I said, just obsessing over things sometimes, it's really hard to let go of stuff, Like, she used to often tell me to stop being friends with certain people because they weren't doing anything but, making me, angry or making me worse, because they were repeating the same stuff, the same actions that a lot of them said they wouldn't do. But, I'm the type of person that even though I do have these anger problems and, and whatnot, sometimes hold grudges, I also try to forgive people. But I never forget stuff. I never forget anything anybody has done. But, like I said, I hold grudges. And shit. Ooh, man, this not together, 26 minutes or something? Anyway, but yeah, I hold grudges. And I know it's a bad thing, because a lot of those grudges have been destroying me in so many different ways. Like, it's not just me harboring a lot of anger and resentment towards people, but it is that, but it's me harboring so much of that it started to stress me out, kind of fuck with me mentally, to the point where I can't concentrate on things, and I try to do everything I can to really, get myself focused, because, I've gotten addicted to energy drinks. I've been drinking energy drinks for years, but I got addicted to them because I'm often so at the point where I can't focus or concentrate. I don't feel like I have a lot of energy. I'm real innovative, that I often, just try to double up. I mix a bunch of energy drinks together. I might get a Red Bull, a Monster, get a Bang, get a Nas energy drink, and shit. I mix all that together. Of course, I pour it in one bottle, and I might pour 1/3 or 1/4 of this, something like that. And I mix all this stuff together because I be trying to, really get myself energized, so that I can do things and focus on what I want to focus on, but it's I attach, emotions to stuff a lot. I try not to be an emotional person, but, I wear my, heart on my sleeve, and, so things affect me, in a really huge way. So I, what was I say? A lot of things just are hard for me now. There's music I used to listen to, and I still try to listen to it, but I don't enjoy it the same way. I feel partially because my computer is so the way it is and the way it acts, and I'm so worried about it, that that's another reason why I can't just sit there and enjoy music, but I also feel like maybe it's just that music just doesn't speak to me the same way it did years ago. A lot of Currency music. I'm crazy about Currency. Well, I like a lot of his old stuff, and I can still say a lot of the stuff is tight, but it doesn't inspire me the way it used to. I used to, put on a Currency project. I'd be happy every time Currency said, yo, he dropping some new music. I'd be like, yo, shit, I gotta check that out. Or either I'd be upset that I was so late finding out he dropped another project. I'd probably say something to one of my friends, yo, dude, how come you didn't tell me Currency dropped something new? And, he probably I forgot, man, or whatever. Or he might say something kind of snide, why weren't you paying attention? Or something like that. But, my mind be elsewhere, so that's why I wasn't. But, his music stopped inspiring me that way. I remember, I used to listen to the Wu-Tang Clan all the time. I still like them. They're still an inspiration to me, but their music doesn't inspire me as of late. You know, and like I said, it might be because I've listened to all those albums too much. You know, from Enter, you know, the Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang Forever, W, Iron Flag, you know, all of that. I've probably listened to a lot of this stuff way too much. You know, Gravediggers, probably listened to that too much. As far as the members' solo albums like Jizza and Method Man and Ghostface and Raekwon, I probably listened to all their stuff way too much to the point where I can't, you know, receive anything from it, you know, like I used to. And like, you know, me, just water. Oh shit. That'll stop something. Anyway, you know, a lot of their music just don't inspire me anymore. Like Eminem, that was the guy that really inspired me to start writing in the first place. And I know a lot of people often trip about this. They'd be like, you know, white rappers, what inspired you to start rapping? But see, like, the thing is, growing up, I heard rap music, but I wasn't that into it. I would hear certain songs, they get stuck in my head. Like, I think it was Goody Mob song, People Don't Dance No More. I used to hear that a lot when I was probably like 4th grade, I think. I used to watch The Box. And that's how I really first found out about Eminem, and I heard My Name Is. And, you know, I heard that song, and I just got instantly hooked, because I hadn't heard anything like that before. You know, and it was way different than everything else I had heard, because I had heard the Beastie Boys, I had heard LL Cool J, I heard KRS-One, and I liked a lot of the songs I heard, but, you know, and Will Smith, because Will Smith was a rapper that inspired me at one point in time, but I wasn't wanting to be a rapper as much as I just wanted to learn how to rap to utilize it, because I wanted to be a cartoonist, but I also wanted to have like little segments in my cartoons where the characters would kind of like, you know, kind of breaking the song like a musical, but it would be rapping. Because there was one time I was playing with my toys, and I recorded that on this little mini, you know, cassette recorder I had. It was like one of them with a little small cassette, and I recorded me singing this song in the middle of them, you know, fighting, where they was trying to get a person to come over to their side, because that's what the song was called, Come Over to My Side. And, you know, I can't remember all of it, and I wish I still had the tape, but I'm not even going to attempt to sing it right now. I'll do that another time. But anyway, you know, all the rappers that have inspired me over the years, when I listen to their stuff, it don't hit me the same way anymore. Like, I might hear something that might be like, yo, that's dope, but then I don't really feel that inspired to write. I'd be happy that they've dropped another project, but that's all it is. You know, it doesn't hit me in the same way where I'm like, you know, damn, you know, I want to write right now, you know. I want to really, you know, get out there and you know, I want to do this, I want to make it, you know. It don't inspire me that way. And maybe it's just because I'm just not into hip-hop like that anymore. Because, you know, there are a lot of new artists that I did like, and I don't like them like that anymore either, you know. And I just be looking at, you know, music to come out, and, you know, or music videos, and then I listen to the music that come out, and I just can't vibe with it. You know, the younger generation, some people I know, you know, they real into it, but I just can't get into it like that. It just don't hit me that way. You know, and I might seem like the old, you know, crotchety. Hey, yo, my previous video, I got cut off, so here's part 2. The size limit had been reached. That is a 4 gigabyte video. So, yeah. Anyway, you know, so I'm trying not to make this next part way too long. I mean, I talked like, what, over 33 minutes with that one. But anyway, as I was saying in the previous one, you know, I hear a lot of new stuff, and I just can't vibe with it, you know, and I often do, you know, maybe make a complaint or two or rant about it, you know, and some people be like, oh man, it was dope, or I love that, or I love this artist, you know, and I mean, that's cool, you know, you can love that, you can like that, but I don't feel it, you know, it's nothing that makes me want to be like, I still want to do music, you know. Right now, I do still rap, I do still record stuff, but I do it mostly in kind of a cathartic type of way. You know, it's just for me to release my stress, and for me to, you know, also keep my mind sharp, you know, try to show that I can be creative. You know, I've been feeling, though, over the past couple of years that I have fallen off, or that I'm falling off, but I feel like I've fallen off, you know. Some people feel like I'm better than I was, you know, and maybe I am. I know I can't tell as far as songwriting goes that I've gotten better in that area, but I feel like in the past I wasted a lot of good lines, punchlines, stuff like that, good concepts when I was rapping over other people's beats. Because a lot of my old mixtapes, badly recorded, but people were still listening to them, and that's what really fucks me up. The music I did in the past, it was badly recorded, but I had more people listening to me then. And it's like once I got a mic and tried to upgrade my sound, that's when I didn't have anybody around to really listen to me. And especially once I started trying to do more original music. Because like I said, mostly everything I did was, original lyrics, but remixes of other people's songs or me just rapping over the beat, period. Because a lot of times I rapped over beats of songs I've never listened to before, which was a way for me to have fun with the beat and do what I wanted to with it because I didn't feel constrained by what had actually been done on the song. Now, with some of them, like I said, that I did know of, like when I rapped over 50's Position of Power, it was kind of hard to get 50's words out of my head, while coming up with my own shit. So, kind of what I did was still kind of to the same tune of what 50 did, but I wrote I still wrote my own shit and came from my heart, But like I said, people listen to my stuff more in the past, it seemed like, than they did with the new stuff I made, So that was kind of depressing. I ain't gonna lie, that fucked me up. But it is what it is, Also with the fact that I'm really old school when it comes to the way I rap and do things. Like even when I rap over, modern beats, I'm still, more technical, and I don't, most dudes nowadays got the real melodic type flow, or they do a lot of singing more than they do rapping, which is something I often kind of complain about, that a lot of guys say they rappers, but then you go and listen to their shit and all they doing is singing, because like there's a difference between doing a kind of sing-songy type rap and then just straight up singing. And most niggas just be singing with auto-tune nowadays. Now some of this shit is dope, I'm not gonna lie. I'll admit, some of it is dope, but at the same time, I just don't consider them rappers, Or if I do have to use that term, they are rappers, but they're not MCs or lyricists, They creative, they got some skill. I'm not gonna shit on them, in that aspect, but they're not what I'm really looking for, I be looking for the real hard-hitting shit that's just like the underground shit. But at the same time, I realize, in order to be mainstream, you can't do all that underground shit, I ain't gonna never hear anybody that sound like, Vinnie Paz or Reef the Lost Cause or, Apathy and shit, and even Just a Lie, I ain't gonna hear nobody that sound like them in the mainstream. The closest we've gotten to anybody sounding like the underground, in sort of the old school, is Conway and Benny and why am I forgetting his name right now? West Side Gun. It's the closest we've come to that, and even they aren't completely mainstream, or at least they're mainstream in the fact that people know who they are now, but their sound isn't. And personally, I'm praying that the sound never changes. That's what I'm praying for. But I don't know. I think there has been a marked, departure from what they came up doing. And I mean, it's okay for artists to experiment. I've done a lot of experimenting. Shit, a lot of stuff I regret doing. Now some people did like it though, but I still regret doing it. I regret going off into that, left field. But it is what it is. You gotta spread your wings sometimes, stretch your legs, and see what it's like on the other side. But it's just, for me, I've been feeling like a failure, And there was somebody that, it was 2019 actually. Somebody had started messaging me and my ex. And I ain't gonna lie, for the longest, I thought it was my ex. And she got very pissed off when I asked her that, because I thought maybe she made a fake profile to kind of start some shit. Well, let me be more precise. The woman I was with last year, Janae, that's who I thought it was at first. And she got pissed off about that. Because she was like, why would I make a fake profile and do all of that? She was like, I don't have time to do that. True enough. But she has done some things still that really shocked me. So, as I told her, I couldn't put it past her, because she's done a lot of things that have surprised me. Now, I know it's fucked up, but I just felt like maybe she made another profile to express how she felt about me. Especially concerning the fact that she kind of, said, you know, that she, like I said, she thought I was gay when it came to the transgender thing. And that was something that person said. But the person also said something that made me feel like it might have been one of my other exes. Now, I ticked off boxes, and I realized it wasn't Kyra. I mistakenly thought it was Sonya. Sonya was upset about that. And, like, even now, me and Sonya aren't cool, you know, but it is what it is. But, you know, and, you know, and the last person that I really could say that it might be was my ex, Honesty. And that's who, you know, Janae feels it is, because all this stuff did start when Honesty came back around. And it felt like she might have been trying to sabotage my relationship, you know, by talking about a lot of different things. Because, you know, I haven't had a job in years, you know, but Janae wasn't bothered by it, you know, and that was something that I realized, you know, like I used to think that she did care about it, but she said she didn't, you know, and I trust her, you know, but at the time, I feel like maybe she just didn't want to be honest with me. So, you know, I was feeling insecure about it, that, you know, I didn't really have a job or didn't have a steady income, and she did, you know, but she was like, don't worry about that, you know, things will get better when they're supposed to. You know, that's what she used to always tell me. And, you know, and I realize now, you know, how much I took that for granted. That, you know, she really wanted to be with me. She didn't care about what my financial situation was. And even in the beginning, she didn't really care about, you know, my mental issues. But, of course, she didn't know how they were. You know, she didn't know how the bipolar disorder really would be. And so it became a burden for her. And that was something that, you know, she wasn't prepared to deal with. You know, so I can't blame her for not wanting to deal with that anymore. You know, because another thing she told me when we broke up is that I need to get some help. You know, and I do. I need help again. You know, because I've been falling a whole lot. But you know, she did not care that I wasn't employed at the moment, because she just said things would get better. You know, and like I said, most women, that's all they be looking for. Want to know if a guy's employed at the time, you know, before they really give you any type of time. I mean, that's cool. I understand why, you know, but for me and Janae, we had that understanding, you know, and, you know, like I said, what I realized, that I took her for granted, that she truly did love me, you know, and I fucked up until all of that love was gone. And I wish I still had it. You know, before I really did, you know, this video and the one before it, I cried, you know, and crying is not something I do a lot. You know, I don't even like admitting that I cry. You know, and I know most people like, you know, men should not be afraid to cry. You should not be afraid to say that you've cried. But due to the way I act and the way I rap, you know, I feel like it's really weak, you know, for me to admit that. It makes me, you know, I have to admit, it makes me look bad compared to the way that I, you know, like I said, rap on songs and everything, to admit that I've gotten to a point where I've been so down and upset, you know, that I've cried. And especially over, you know, now, I'm not saying this to sound misogynistic or anything, but I'm just saying, you know, especially the fact that I cried over a woman. Now, for me, that is a woman I really care about, and I love her a whole lot. But I know the rest of the world and other people I know will look at it like, yo, man, why you crying over a female, man? There's a whole bunch of women out there. But me and her were together for 5 years. 5 years. And she tried to hold on. You know, and like I said, I fucked up. You know, things could have been better. You know, but I didn't do right by her. You know, I messed up a lot of times. But what's crazy is the amount of things that she did forgive me for, that I still feel like this is just something I can't knock. And maybe it's because of the things she said, but I still feel like me admitting to liking transgender women is what really destroyed us. I feel like that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Because she did tell me some things you should just keep to yourself. And maybe I should have. Because she said that if we were just friends, she wouldn't have had no problem. But because we were dating, and I admitted to that. And see, the thing is that I had been keeping it a secret for years. You know, I had talked to a few transgender women before in the past. But, you know, of course, in the beginning, I didn't know they were transgender. They didn't tell me until later. One of them, you know, made a joke about it, then tried to cover it up and said, no, I'm really a girl. But then turned around and again, you know, later on said, you know, I really am transgender. So, for me, because like I said, being a rapper, if something like that had come out in the past, which, it did when I was on this website called Moco, but nobody really knew who I was, so it was only a thing on Moco. And, crazy enough, some years ago, one dude on there who remembered from the years before that, he brought it back up. He remembered who I was, what I looked like. It was almost like he had just been obsessing over it or something, probably. And he kept trying to, call me, faggot and everything. So, that was something I just really wanted to keep to myself, because I know how people look at it. There are a lot of guys, nowadays, and even women, who be like, how can you like a transgender woman? That's really a man, And like I said, I'm attracted to women. I'm trying to see how to really put this, because I don't even really know the right way to say it. And I know most people look at it and be like, like folks gonna always, want to call me gay over there. And you know what? It's cool. Like, I know I'm not gay, because I'm attracted to what I see, And for me, I guess this might be a little controversial to admit, but for me, I do prefer transgender women who have had an operation. Now, not to say that I hadn't talked to any that hadn't had one, but like I said, at the time, I didn't really know that. I didn't find out until later, But I do prefer the ones who have gone through the hormone therapy and whatnot in the surgery. Now, if somebody doesn't want to go through that, that's on them. But that's not what I'm into. It's just that little thing right there, I will admit, does bother me, But at the same time, I found myself lately not, I don't know, maybe it was just that I just had to go and get that off my chest, because I had been holding it in for years. Because it seemed like later I didn't really, feel like that anymore. And my ex also got mad about that. She was talking about, so you just said all this shit for nothing. I said, no, I didn't say it for nothing. I said it because I needed to get it off my chest. And I had been holding it in for years, But I don't feel the same attraction that I was feeling, back then. And how I felt like I had to just get that off. Because honestly, I felt like I had to get it off my chest after I watched the shit with, Malik Yoba being honest. And I was like, well, I guess I could finally be honest myself, because I've been keeping it to myself. Used to make a few jokes in the past, and then like it was me being honest about things, but I would just try to, sweep it off as like I said, like a joke, but I hate to be honest. And I get it that a lot of people are gonna look at me weird, folks who don't know it, and the people who do know, who do know it, maybe they have changed, that with their opinions of me and not really want to be close. Some people are really, still homophobic, regardless of whether they want to say they're not scared of gay people. It's different when you know somebody and then you suspect that they're gay or something, or you start feeling like they are, and then you don't want to be cool with that person. And I've never had a problem being cool with gay people. There was a best friend of mine who came out of the closet in high school, and, we were still cool, but of course he would rather, this is me kind of venting a little bit, but he would rather be cool with people who didn't know his secret. Simply because he said those people allowed him to be himself. Now, I wasn't, trying to put a damper on who he is as a person, but he would play too much sometimes. He would joke around when, you're not supposed to be joking around. Like one time, he gave me a ride to the grocery store. And he started playing around while I'm, trying to put groceries in the basket. And he messing with the basket and messing with the stuff I'm putting in there, messing up me keeping track of what I've, put in there. And I'm like, dude, stop playing, and I'm like, folks looking, which was weird because everybody looking like, why is he playing around like that? Why is he being so childish? And one time, when he took me and my mother both to the grocery store, he was trying to help us go and get the groceries out, and he ended up just throwing one of the bags down on the ground, which had a, bottle of grape juice I had bought, but it was in a glass bottle. And he just threw it, shit just shattered. And I was so pissed off about that. And that's when we kind of, stopped being cool. He didn't take me to the grocery store anymore. It was cool. You know, because for him, the way he said it is that he'd rather be around people that let him be himself. Because the only thing I just told him is that he needs to grow up. You know, because despite him having his own car and everything, you know, he still was quite immature. You know, whereas me, yeah, I didn't have my own car, you know. And, I mean, we both still stayed at home, you know, but with him, you know, being the way he was, like I said, he was just real immature. And he thought, you know, folks supposed to be okay with it. You're supposed to just let him play around and shit. Like I said, it's okay to play here and there, but a lot of times it's not worth playing. It's not worth joking around. You know, a lot of things are not to be joked about, you know. And see, I can be serious. I can be silly. You know, I know how and when to, you know, do each one. You know, when I know that there's a situation or a time where, you know, you really shouldn't be showing out and acting a fool, especially out in public, you know, I don't do that. You know, I remain, for lack of a better term, stoic. Actually, that might be the best term. I remain stoic, you know. Honestly, I'm like that a lot until I get overwhelmed by these emotions that I'm having, and I might release my anger or release my sadness. You know, I vent, rant, whatever. But for the most part, I'm stoic. You wouldn't know I was going through anything or bothered about anything, you know, until it just gets too much for me to keep inside, you know. And like I said, that's the reason why I started doing these vlogs. You know, regardless whether anybody is watching them or not, I'm not really trying to go viral on YouTube or Facebook. I'm just saying how I feel, you know. That's all it is. I'm just saying how I feel. And you know, one of the biggest things that's been bothering me, like, you know, is that I'm still in love with Janae. And I wish I could fix things. You know, but she don't want me. You know, she's not into me like that. You know, and whatever I really did, that just really was the last straw. You know, because like I said, outside of the long distance, I know that there's something else, but she ain't fully being honest about it. You know. And one thing, though, I do know is that I believe she doesn't believe that I'll ever change. You know, and she told me I had 4 years to do so. Well, really 3 years, but, you know, because that was when the first time when she wanted me to work on some stuff. But as you can see, it takes a while to really, you know, work on certain things. Nothing is going to happen immediately. You know, my anger problems, because, like, I got to the point where I didn't really, you know, say anything to her whenever I was angry. I would keep to myself, and that pissed her off, you know, because she was talking about, you can't keep running away from stuff. It's not that I'm running away, but I mean, if you have a problem with me being angry and you don't want to argue, it's best if I just keep to myself until I feel better. You know, and I might meditate or something, or I go to sleep, try to listen to some music to help lift my mood, you know, but she wanted to always talk. You know, whenever I was down, she wanted to talk. But then once I get to probably talking about what's bothering me, I think it would bother her, and that's why I stopped talking to her about things, and I started talking to other people, and that upset her, because she was like, you should be talking to your girlfriend about stuff, and I should have been, but I couldn't, because she was always going to have a problem with whatever I was upset about, you know. So, you know, I stopped trying to confide in her. You know, when we were friends, I was able to confide in her a lot. She was always there for me, you know. But like I said, I guess, you know, dating is a different story. Because, I mean, I didn't confide in her all the time when we were just friends. But, you know, once we started dating, she wanted to know all the time whatever was bothering me. And I would tell her. And I guess maybe her, sometimes, in a way of trying to sympathize with what I was going through, because she would get upset about some of the stuff I was upset about, I think it started getting to her that she was getting so upset, because it wasn't something that was directly bothering her or affecting her. And so, you know, but she would be mad just like I was. Like, honestly, what's crazy is we came to this conclusion that we both had rubbed off on each other. Because I had started, you know, to change and not be so angry and kind of, you know, just let things go. Whereas she had got to a point where she started, you know, fussing about everything. She didn't like this, she didn't like that, you know. And I felt bad because my negative ways, you know, my toxic ways, they rubbed off on her. Now, you know, she said it might be part of that, but then she said she also was always like that. She just was afraid to let it out. And maybe I made her more inspired to just say how she felt, you know. And then she also told me a lot of stuff happened over the years, and that also changed how she is, you know, because she used to be real optimistic, you know, but then she started turning into kind of a pessimist. And, you know, whenever I would tell her things are gonna, you know, get better, like if she was upset about a video game and I tell her, I said, well, you know, maybe they'll fix it, you know, she didn't feel like that. You know, and you know, it is what it is. I still feel like it's my fault, but maybe she was always like that. But I still feel like it's my fault, because even if she was always like that, me being as open and as candid as I am made her feel like, hey, I can be this way. But then it's like she's gotten stuck in that mode, because she also told me she don't know what's really wrong with her. That was one thing she told me. You know, she just be depressed, she be angry, and she don't know how to turn it off. And I feel like she might be going through the same thing I'm going through. Or maybe it's a lot of things in life she ain't happy about, and it's affecting her in that way. You know, and she just asked me, how do I really manage it? And I told her I really can't. I try, but it's hard to manage it. You know, that's why I often explode, you know, because it's hard to manage. You know, one thing I know is that we both need help, you know. Maybe I do more than her, maybe she needs more help than I do. I don't know. But we both need help. And I just, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. But man, I just want to make things right with her. I know I fucked up. I know I took her for granted. You know, and the fucked up thing is that I've been knowing this for so long, but I just couldn't seem to push myself to do better. But then when she broke up with me, that's when I really wanted to try to change everything. And she called me out on it. She was like, now you want to, you know, do stuff and do this and do that, you know. And it's like, yeah, you know, you're right. Yeah, now I do want to do it. And I told her it's because I honestly didn't think I was ever going to lose her. And I kept foolishly, you know, being callous and careless. And thinking that we'd just be all right, we'd get through whatever. But I was proven wrong. So anyway, this video is just as long as the other one. So I'm going to go and end this, you know. I'm just going to say, you know, I don't know if she ever going to watch this, but Janae, know that I do love you. I always have, I always will. And I'm sorry that, you know, things went the way they did. They went south, you know. That you became unhappy. You started feeling like I didn't care, you know, about the relationship anymore, that I didn't care about you. That you started feeling unappreciated. I'm sorry. I really am. I don't know what I can do or say to really change how you feel about me now. But I do want you to know that, you know, I truly understand, you know, everything that you were saying to me. And honestly, I see the light more now than I ever did at first. And that's why I'm really working on myself and trying to get better, you know, and everything. But, you know, I guess I just have to really become that better person in order for you to really see me differently. That's all I wanted to say. So for everybody else, I'm out. I'll probably do another one in another week or so, because this is a lot that I've said. So, peace.
What else I gotta do? It ain't too much for me to say, shit I gotta prove. So stay the fuck up out my way, you see they got you dude. And a few can torn away, I'm in a bad mood. Please don't fuck with me today, what else I gotta do? It ain't too much for me to say, shit I gotta prove. So stay the fuck up out my way, you see they got you dude. And a few can torn away, I'm in a bad mood. I bring, please don't fuck with me today. They say Chrissy ain't on top of this shit, I beg to differ.